Story 1. Am I the a-hole for leading a guy on when I wanted just a casual fling? Okay, so I, 24 female, was thinking about this guy, 24 male, I dated years ago, and if I was in the wrong. So about 5 years ago, I had just graduated high school and was planning on living in Europe for a couple of years. I'm from California. I had been single for a while and decided I wanted a little romance before I left. Nothing serious, of course. I was only 18 and I was moving to a different country in a few months. I just wanted to have a fun summer. I kinda had feelings for this one guy I was friends with in high school. I initiated things and he reciprocated the feelings. We started spending a lot of time together, but I made it very clear from the beginning I only wanted something casual and short term. He said he was cool with this. A few weeks into it, he tried to DTR again, but I reiterated that I didn't want anything serious since I was leaving the country soon. He seemed to understand and didn't bring it up again. About a month or so into this, he told me he loved me. I was very taken aback by this and responded that I loved him too. And at the time, I didn't think I was lying to him. After this had ended, however, I quickly realized that I did not love this guy. I mean, we were together for like a month at this point, so I feel bad about this now, but I genuinely didn't have bad intentions at the time. Before I left, he told me he enjoyed our relationship and that he wanted to continue dating when I got back to the States. I told him that I enjoyed it too, but that I didn't want that. We had a nice summer fling and should leave it at that. He seemed to understand and we amicably ended things. I went to Europe and we eventually lost touch. Fast forward a couple years later and we ended up going to colleges around the same area. A bunch of us from our hometown got together and I saw him again for the first time in a while. We ended up leaving and going for a drive to catch up. On the drive, he tells me that things have been rough for him and that he's never really dated anyone since what happened with us. He then proceeds to tell me that the day I left for Europe, he carved my initials into his arm with a knife. He shows me his arm and there's a very visible scar of my initials. Very disturbed by this and make a mental note to never be alone with him again. He also makes it clear that he is still interested in me and I make sure he knows that I am not. Over the next few months, I ended up seeing him a couple of times because we shared some friends. At these gatherings, he started being a huge D to me. Because of this and the general feelings of discomfort around him, I ended up completely cutting him out of my life. I haven't seen or heard from him in a couple of years, but from talking to friends, I've learned that he still hasn't dated anyone. So did I just totally screw this guy over? No! No, you did not! No. You were clear up front that you were looking for something short-term and casual, which is absolutely fine. And he did not respect that. And eventually, yeah, he said he loves you. And you know what? You're 18 and you responded. It happens. You have emotions, you're allowed to have them, and you're allowed to change them and change your opinions on them. It doesn't change anything. And so, no, I don't really think you did anything wrong. Like, the only thing I'd say in hindsight is, folks, be a little careful about responding to I love yous with the same thing. Like, if you're not sure about stuff, like, maybe give yourself time to process. But otherwise, no, I think you were very, very clear and straightforward with this person. And he seems to have some issues that he really needs to get over. He needs to stop hanging on to this idea he has of you and just get on with his life. And I'm sure he'll be happier. And good gosh, so will you. Story 2. Today I effed up by not telling my wife our son was coming home. This happened Sunday night. My oldest son is in the Marines, hasn't been home in almost a year. He took 10 days leave so he could come visit. At first, we did not tell his mother in case the leave got denied. When it was approved, he just decided he would fly in and surprise her. I tell the wife I'm going over to a friend to watch the Packers/Falcons game as a cover to pick him up. I got to the airport and actually watched the second quarter of the game waiting for his plane. He gets off the plane, we talk for a bit waiting for the luggage, and then he goes to change into his dress blues. Now the whole time I've been texting my wife saying I was bored, the game sucked, I wasn't going to stay much longer. We discussed the plan on how to surprise his mother on the drive back to the house. We go back and forth from having her open the front door to see him on the porch to just having him walk into the house. We settled on him waiting a few minutes after I went inside as I wanted to get the whole thing on video, free internet points and all that. I walk in and the house is quiet. No one in the living room. A little odd, but it's after 9 p.m. Maybe by some miracle my other kids are actually already in bed. Alarm bells start going off in my head when I open our bedroom door, and the first thing I notice is the flickering candlelight. What I did not know was the entire time I was gone, my wife set in motion her own plan for the evening. She got the kids settled by letting them keep their tablets after bedtime, took a nice hot bath, redid her makeup, and when I told her I was on the way home, lit the room with candles and put on her F me lingerie. So no crap, there I was, staring at my wife, giving me her best come-hither look with our 21-year-old son outside, not 30 feet away, waiting to surprise her. A handful of reactions to the scene are acceptable. Pulling out your cell phone and sending a text message is not one. The text told my son to stay outside. I had solved the most immediate problem of our son walking in and seeing his mother like that, but I was drawing a blank on how to fix everything else. So my brain latched on to what has to be the most stupid plan I've ever had in my life. I told my wife to get dressed because she would never believe what the neighbors were doing, and she had to come see. The look of confusion on her face was priceless. It took me 5 minutes to convince her to put on some sweatpants and a sweatshirt to go to the front door. Finally, after dodging all her questions and getting her to open the door, there was our son in his dress uniform, and she was ecstatic. The noise brought all the kids out, and everyone was happy. Except me. The wife excused herself after a few minutes and took off the lingerie under her sweats before anyone noticed. It goes without saying I did not get any action that night. Also, in trying to salvage the whole surprise, I forgot to video it for my free internet points, so I guess today I will have to suffice instead. I mean, look, anytime that you're gonna try and surprise someone with something like this, you're running a risk. If you're gonna keep people in the dark, they are going to make their own plans, or at the very least, you need to come up with a cover story that covers your butt. That's the thing. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go watch the game, and oh, I'm bored, I think I'm heading home. Like, no, be like, oh, hey, I'm gonna go pick up a board game and bring it home. We're gonna play board games tonight, honey. Okay, this is a terrible plan. Look, I'm on the spot. I didn't think ahead. I don't know, but there are better plans to be made. Otherwise, if you're gonna do it like this, you're gonna run some risks. Frankly, if I was you, I would have texted your son and be like, oh, your mom's not here. She went to the store, but go hide in the car for half an hour, 45 minutes. You know, stay there for about an hour. She'll be home, and then we'll figure it out. Okay, bud? Like, Story 3. Am I the a-hole for going for a drink with a female friend? I've been with my partner for 2.5 years. Most of my friends are guys, but there is one woman I'm friends with that I've known for around 4 to 5 years. We don't see each other often since our larger friend group rarely meets us, and we work different shifts. I saw her in town last week by chance, and we got to talking, and she mentioned meeting up for a drink in a few weeks, which I agreed with. I mentioned it to my girlfriend, and she didn't say anything about it. A few days later, my girlfriend mentioned she had to go away for a weekend for work, as they've finally been given a date, and it was in 2 weeks. She will be gone from Friday to Monday. She asked what I planned to do for that weekend, and I mentioned that it was the weekend I was meeting my friend. She said she doesn't know if she's comfortable with that, and that it's weird for me to be meeting another woman when she's going to be away. I pointed out that my plans were made before I even knew she was going to be away, and it's not like I've tried to hide anything. She just repeated that she thinks it's weird and that she doesn't think I should be doing it. I told her there's nothing wrong with me seeing friends and that she can't control when I see them. She just said I was being unfair and not respecting her wishes and boundaries. Am I the a-hole for going for drinks with a female friend? I am big on respecting certain boundaries that partners may have. Sometimes you have to make concessions in a relationship, but I've never been comfortable or happy about when partners don't want their partner to hang out solo with someone of a gender that they're attracted to. Partially because as a pansexual, that would mean I can't hang out with anyone solo because I could be attracted to any of you at any moment. I'm always on the hunt. But more seriously, it's just like, if you're not comfortable with this guy hanging out with just a female friend, then you have a trust issue with them. And I think that's a deeper issue that needs to be dealt with, you know? It's like, I completely trust my partner to hang out with people of the opposite gender. I trust her to hang out with like exes and stuff like that. I'm fine with that because I trust her. I know that she loves me and wouldn't do anything like that. So I don't know. Maybe that's a me thing. I know that there are plenty of people out there who aren't comfortable with that kind of thing. I just don't get it. Story 4. I found out my family is hiding my husband's affair with my best friend. I, 22 female, need some serious advice on how to navigate any of this. I found out a week ago that my entire family has been helping my fiance, 23 male, hide his affair with my best friend, 23 female. I created this account because I honestly have no one else to tell this to. So my brain figured internet strangers would be best. None of my family and friends have read it, thank the stars. For extra emotional context, me and my fiance have been together since 8th grade, on and off until 2020. I do apologize if this gets long, but it's so much to unpack, and I just want to refresh myself with everything I have, as well as figure out the best way to confront my family, best friend, and fiance with at least some dignity. Here are the names and ages for context for everyone involved. Richard, half-brother, 26. Maria, half-sister, 27. Angie, my mom, 56. Peach, best friend, soon-to-be ex-best friend. Alex, my fiance, soon-to-be ex. So a week ago, Alex was taking a shower and had left his phone on our bed. Me and my fiance have an open phone policy, seeing as we both struggled with getting cheated on in past relationships. Go figure, seeing my situation. I was packing my suitcase for a family trip that's happening after my rehearsal dinner tomorrow. I heard his phone keep going off. He yelled from our shower if I could mute his phone. I went to get his phone and saw that it was Peach calling him. I was curious at first, but seeing as she's part of my bridal party, I didn't find it too suspicious. I muted the phone and soon messaged Peach from my phone. Here is the paraphrase of our conversation. Me: "Hey Peach, my fiance's in the shower right now, what did you need?" Peach: "Oh, nothing, LOL, just wanted to confirm with him the flowers for your bouquet in aisle." Me: "That's weird, I didn't change my mind about any flowers or anything. The florist was contacted last month and everything was paid for already by Tony." Tony is my mom's husband. Peach: "Are you sure? I remember him telling me you changed your mind." After that, it was the usual wedding talk after that point. In hindsight, I should have found it very weird that she would call him about 6 times to confirm a flower choice when she simply could have texted me or Alex. When Alex got out of the shower, I told him Peach tried calling him about my flower choices. I asked him what made him think I changed my mind about the flowers for the wedding. He paused for a bit. I know now he was stalling and doing the "oh, I'm thinking" face when I asked. He then said that he thought I had mentioned it in passing during dinner. I told him that I didn't recall that. He then just shrugged, grabbed his phone, and went back to the bathroom. I hate to be one of those people, but for once, my guts sank. I got this paranoid feeling and I couldn't shake it. I tried to convince myself that it was just my old cheating trauma trying to creep back, yet I just couldn't let this go. Me and Alex had dinner and I pushed through until it was time to go to bed. I pretended to fall asleep first. Me and Alex usually cuddle to fall asleep. When I knew he was in a deep enough sleep, I went to check his phone again. I checked his Instagram, Snapchat, and messages, and I couldn't find anything. I then went to his Facebook Messenger. He had a messenger to communicate with his family overseas. I only saw his main family, and most of the messages were about getting plane tickets to come to the wedding. We were supposed to get married in December with a Winter Wonderland-themed wedding. However, with my previous relationships, I checked his archives on Messenger. That's when the horrific truth came to light. There was a group chat with Peach, Alex, Richard, Angie, and Maria. The group chat was established a year ago where Alex and Peach confessed to having an affair with my family. My mom did shame them at first, yet she later asked Alex if he truly loved Peach. Because you can't help who you love. Yeah, really great, Mom. That was super helpful. He said he was sure that he also loved me, too. The F. Then Maria and Richard offered that he, being Alex, would bring up to me an open relationship. They both are in open relationships and married, and it's working for them in whatever la-la land they live in. At this point, he and me were already engaged. Alex mentioned to them that it seemed too deep to try to bring it up. Angie, my mom, even though at this point I hate to even call her that, said that they would cover for Alex and Peach until he felt strong enough to bring up an open relationship with me. As I was reading, all I could think was how in the actual F could my family betray me like that? How could Peach betray me like that? We've been friends since kindergarten. We even grew up with Alex. How could she process in her mind to F my fiancé and say that she loves him too? All of this in this disgusting group chat? For Alex to have the nerve to say he loves me as well? For him to know firsthand what it's like to be betrayed like this? I honestly wanted to vomit. However, I was just taking screenshot after screenshot. The more I read down, I found out that Peach took my spot on our previous family trip. I got a really bad stomach bug a while ago that caused me not to go. I can't even begin to imagine what they did on that trip. And the fact my mother was okay with all of this, I think is what hurts the most. The fact she's known for a whole year that my fiancé was cheating on me. That's taken the longest to sit in, I feel. There is more in the group chat, but these were the major points. I've known for a whole week, it's been eating at me inside, and I want to explode and cuss them all out. I want to ruin their lives the way they ruined me. It all hurts so much, and I just really want advice on how to confront them. How do I even begin? What do I even say? The anger I feel is so intense that I feel like if I just let it all out, it would just look insane. Please, anything will help. I'm planning on confronting them tomorrow at our rehearsal dinner. So I will say, as much as I am in support of healthy, polyamorous, or open relationships, that does not cover cheating like this for a year. That is a thing that needs to be a very open, honest conversation with a partner before anything is done or considered, and only if both parties are absolutely comfortable with that. You can't cheat for a year and be like, oh, I'm just waiting for the right moment to broach this subject. No, and for the family to go along with it, like, I'm sorry, if these other siblings or whatever are in, healthy, open relationships, then they should know how important open, honest communication is. Like, this is mind-boggling to me how these people can be going along with this for that long when you're about to do the rehearsal dinner for the wedding even. No, it sounds like he is waiting until they're married, so then she feels more like stuck with him because otherwise then they'll have to go through a divorce. No, absolutely not. This guy's a sleazebag. You don't do that. She seems very opposed to the idea of an open relationship being an okay thing, which I disagree with, but she's allowed to feel that way because she's been hurt this bad and has been screwed over by this sleazy guy and awful best friend. So, no. This person needs to just end it with this guy and be mad at your family because, I'm sorry, as much as they would have been like, well, open relationship might work, not waiting for a year. Y'all should have said something by then. Y'all should have had a lot to say by then. So you are all guilty. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.